Our sportsNOLA.com trivia question of the evening, the Senior Bowl, happening in Mobile on Saturday. Who is the only former Saints player to be named MVP of this annual classic? Do you know? There he is, John Fourcade, 1982 South Team MVP. And John may have gotten some bad advice at that time, as I recall, because remember, there were a lot of discussions about the fact that John wanted to be drafted in the first round, and he didn't get drafted. And he was better than that and deserved an opportunity, ultimately got one and got a chance to play and had some measure of success. Of course, you can watch John on the John Fourcade Show Thursday night, 6 p.m. here on WHNO. So an interesting trivia question, to say the least. And our hot seat topic of the day is interesting as well. So let's go with our hot seat segment, where we place Brian Ellie Walsh on the hot seat with this big topic. How many prep football championships should Louisiana have? The convention this week in Baton Rouge, very, very hotly contested, hotly debated situation. Most recently, a lawyer saying that it was not implemented properly in 2013 when they split and went to 9 championships, that it reverts back to 5 with everybody together. You know that there are going to be people raising guff about that and amendments that are going to come up as a result. So as a result, Brian, as we pose the question to you first, understanding there were 3 classes until the 1960s, then 4, and then 5 classes as of 1991, 9 as of 2013, in a state the size of Louisiana, how many classes should we have in high school football in this state?
Thank you, Dr. Trehan, as always. A cat should have 9 lives, but not the LHSA football championship. There should not be 9 championships. I'll make that statement right off the bat. Kenny provided you with the background, the history of where the LHSA has gone over the last 4 decades anyway. Here's my feeling is that when they do meet Wednesday, and hopefully they'll resolve this with an issue, if they watch this show, we will provide the correct answer. To me, it's simple. One of the 2 proposals that I understand will be brought up for discussion, provided that they don't just reenact and have the executive committee vote on this 9 state championships again, is this. Is the 2 proposals. One will have 6 classifications, 3 rural, 3 metro, determined on the proximity to the major cities in this state, all right? That said, the other one is the one I like, provided it's announced at the convention, and it's 5 classifications and a 6th, being a super elite, whereas up to 32 teams could join, could play up and form 32. To me, that's the right way to settle this issue, and it's a big issue, and it's going to cause a lot of chaos. To me, 2 weekends of championship football is not the way to do this. It's too expensive to the association. I understand it's almost a rental fee of $200,000 per weekend. Now, they make money, but they also spend a lot of money. That's silly. Keep the money, make it work for your benefit. 1 weekend, 6 championships, 3 on each day, it can work. That's 5 classifications based on enrollment and a super elite 32 classification based on who wants to play. There's a lot of teams that want to play up. Evangel, John Curtis, the Catholic League teams, and anybody else that sees fit. To me, that's the way to resolve this issue.
Well, we had it down in Florida, and we still have it today. We got 6 Class A's. So what we do is the first 3, they go on one weekend, and the next 3 go on the next weekend. And it always worked like that. We had class 1, 2, and 3 will play the first weekend, and the class, all the way up to 6 will play the next weekend. And it always worked like that for us.
But do they play in one location?
Yeah, play in one location,
okay.
Right. Play in one location, and everybody play, like different times, and you can get the champion there because, and they got the, they have where you got to win so many games that all qualify anyhow. So it worked out great for Florida.
Well, the problem is you've got, to me, it's twofold problem here. Is not only is there a division in the way that they should run their state championships, but there's a a strong division in the way that the principals and the schools are set up. Anything north of Alexandria, Louisiana seems to be in one mindset, and everything south is in a different mindset. And as long as you have these two different philosophies, you're going to have heads butting. And there's nothing wrong with people having differing opinions, but you've got to come and reach a mutually decided decision that benefits the entire association.
You have a final word, Rick?
Yeah, the association got to be over that.
Okay.
And that's something that you got to live with the association. Whatever they rule, that's what it goes.
Yeah.
Ricky brought up a very good point. Florida has 6 classifications. Florida has more people than Louisiana and more schools than Louisiana, and they have 6. Bordering states, Mississippi and Alabama, football-crazed states, similar footprints to Louisiana and populaces, they have 6 as well. Texas, the closest bordering state otherwise, has 12, but Texas also is 5 or 6 times bigger than Louisiana in terms of the number of schools participating. It's a no-brainer that 9 is too many. Let me give you some numbers. 294 schools playing football in Louisiana. 9 classes? Seriously? Check out these numbers. 224 non-select schools playing football, and 154 of those made the playoffs. That's 69%. And then in select, 70 schools playing football, 53 made the playoffs. That's 76%. So over 70% of the teams made the playoffs. Among those, you had 4 winless teams and 2 one-win teams. And oh, by the way, the winless teams lost 57-0, 49-8, 59-0, and 45-0. The one-win teams, they lost 46-0 and 62-0. What are we trying to accomplish here? And Brian brought up a good point. Ultimately, it's about the greater good. I don't care if you're in North Louisiana or South Louisiana. This is Louisiana. It's one state. You're not in Arkansas. You're not in Texas. You're in Louisiana. People have to find common ground to make it a greater good scenario for the kids, because ultimately it's about the kids. It's not about the principals. It's not about trophies. It's not about feeling good. It's not about tuition. It's not about recruiting. It's about the kids. You ask any kid that goes to Helen Cox if he wants to compete with the kid at Shaw, he'll say absolutely, but they're not allowed to do so because of the rules that are currently in place. The same thing would hold true if you asked the young man at East Jefferson if he'd like to compete against Rummel. Won't happen. Not under these rules. Ultimately, we'll get a decision. I'm not sure we're going to like it. I commend Eddie Bonine for having the guts, for lack of a better term to use on television, to stand up and try to accomplish the greater good, because that's what this is all about. 6 classes, super class, play up all the way. If you want to play up in football only, there it is. Back in just a moment to talk hoops as Sports NOLA TV continues.